What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're watching Nwadei MMA, where I give you my thoughts, but more importantly, ask for you guys' thoughts because you guys are the MMA community. And today we're going to be giving you guys the storyline for UFC 313 as Alex Pereira is back to fight Magomed Ankalaev. We have another Alex Pereira fight week, but it's not just Alex Pereira. Justin Gaethje is also on this card. Yes, he had the fallout of an opponent in Dan Hooker. It was supposed to be Gaethje versus Hooker at 313 this weekend, but Dan Hooker ended up breaking his hand. If you want more on that situation, because we did already discuss that, go ahead and check out the last video, which I will leave a link in the description. But today we're going to be talking about who replaced him, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev, for the rematch, which is very interesting because Fiziev hasn't fought since 2023, and this is the first time we're getting to see him in a while. Obviously, he's been a top contender for a long time, but there's a lot more that goes onto this card. Now, before we get into talking about the storyline of UFC 313, I want to thank you guys for stopping by this video. Don't forget to give this video a like, comment your thoughts down below because I enjoy hearing you guys' opinions, and you're more than welcome to subscribe and join the family. And also, if you guys want more access to everything I'm doing, go ahead and follow the Patreon, where you can find my MMA and Jiu-Jitsu breakdowns, as well as following the MMA podcast, The Will vs. The Way. But with that being said, let's get into the video. So first, let's talk about how Justin Gaethje got this fight with Fiziev, because Dan Hooker, yes, he pulled out. He had a broken hand. Originally, it was supposed to be 5 rounds, but somehow in the middle, it went down to 3 rounds. And Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira both said no, as you can see from Justin Gaethje's tweet here. Max and Dustin both said no. Moicano got the call and said no, even though Moicano was saying he would step in and that he was ready. Fiziev is the only one who stepped in. And that was probably the most unexpected thing, because Fiziev, if we don't remember, Rafael Fiziev got injured in his fight with Mateusz Gamrot back in 2023, and he blew out his knee, and understandably so took a year off. Now, with nowadays recovery and with everything that the UFC helps you with, a blown out knee would take anywhere from like 8 to 12 months to completely heal and for you to be fully back to training and fighting, right? He's taken longer than that. He's taken 1.5 years since his last fight. And one thing you have to understand about Rafael Fiziev is he is a striking coach over at Tiger Muay Thai. So once he's good and healthy and ready, he's always training, he's always helping to coach the athletes. So my proposition is that he's been ready for a while, but because of his ranking, being ranked at like, what, 10? Where is he ranked at? Being ranked at 11 in the division puts him in a weird spot, because nobody above him would want to fight him because he's an absolute killer. And I believe when he fought Gamrot, he was ranked like 5. And then he probably doesn't want to fight back because he was winning that fight against Mateusz Gamrot before that injury happened. And Mateusz is ranked at 8, so he's only looking to fight up. Nobody above him wants to fight him. So that puts him in a weird spot to where he's not fighting, even though he's staying ready, he's staying in shape after his injury, right? So we haven't seen him fight since. Hopefully he is gonna come back and he's gonna be stronger or better and the same physique, because we know how these injuries get and how they can change someone's career. But he got this opportunity on short notice to fight Justin Gaethje. I'm assuming since he can make the weight that he has been in shape and that he has been waiting for a short notice call like this, and now he's got one, and he's got one against a guy he's already fought before in Justin Gaethje. And Justin Gaethje, now the first fight was very close. Like, whether we look at the numbers or not, it was very close to everybody. Some people thought Fiziev won. I think majority of people thought Gaethje won. Gaethje played that one kind of smart. He established his jab. He did not get emotional at all, which is the total opposite of Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev looked more emotional than he ever has in his career. Probably because he's fighting the highlight, right? Justin Gaethje can kind of lure you into those violent traps, right? But he did a good job of busting up Fiziev and swelling his eye up and pretty much getting it to the point to where he had vet moves in there. And he even shot a takedown against Fiziev to help him secure, I believe, the 3rd round. He shot it. And so in this fight, I think we can expect much calmer Fiziev, someone who's not so down to brawl, even though that's kind of his style. He likes to get in the mix. He has a Dutch style, kickboxing, Muay Thai hybrid kind of striking style, to where he likes to be in the pocket, throwing hard kicks, hard hooks, and uppercuts. But at the same time, he could keep that pressure without being emotional, right? Without Justin Gaethje knowing when he wants to enter, getting caught by a jab on his entries and things like that, right? That's what patience helps you with. It helps you with finding clean entries to enter into the pocket rather than getting caught up and getting hit when you're entering, right? Especially with a guy like Justin Gaethje. Now, I do think this is a much tougher fight the second time around. Justin Gaethje was on a full camp to fight Dan Hooker, though, so you know he's been preparing well. I don't think that he's planning on shooting too many takedowns other than to secure rounds like he did last time. But Fiziev, I think this is probably the best matchup that Gaethje could have gotten on short notice because it's another striker like Dan Hooker was. But this also matchup that Fiziev would want too, because everyone above Gaethje, if we look at the rankings, again has really good grappling, like Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan, Islam Makhachev, excluding Dustin Poirier because it's gonna be like his last fight, and excluding Max Holloway as well. But that's kind of the storyline of that fight, the co-main event. And the winner of this, man, if Fiziev wins, I think that low-key he might be ready for a title shot. They might do one more, but that's only because Ilya is now coming into the division. Charles Oliveira is already supposed to be getting the title shot. And we're going to talk about this more in another video about how this whole little lightweight situation is going to play out. But if he does win, and he wins in devastating fashion, I won't be surprised if he's one fight away from a title shot, or either of these guys are one fight away from a title shot, because Gaethje still has not fought Islam Makhachev. He was supposed to get a title shot and then ended up losing to Max Holloway for the BMF title, and this is his first fight back. So very intriguing fight for UFC 313. However, before we get into the main event, I want to talk about the other fights on this card, because there are some really interesting fights. Myron Santos against the Fire Marshal Francis Marshall. That's actually a really good fight. I think y'all should stay tuned to. Myron Santos coming off the Ultimate Fighter. Francis Marshall just got his first win in the UFC, but they both look for finishes. It's an exciting fight, right? Alex Morono, shout out Alex Morono. He commentated on my last fight right there, versus Carlos Leal. That should be a good matchup as well. Leal is 4 years younger than him. I think I've seen Leal fight maybe once. I don't know too much about him. Yeah, he lost to Renat, right? And Renat Retinov is a grappler. Yeah, that's the fight I watched from him. Alex Morono really is a grappler as well, even though his last few fights he's been on the feet striking. He has really good grappling. I think he should take this one down to the ground. Other fights we should watch: Bruno Ferreira, the Hulk, is fighting Armin Petrosian. Armin is a slick, sharp, down the pipe striker. Bruno Ferreira keeps things very wide, like a lot of roundhouses and hooks with his punches. I think if Armin plays this one patiently, I think he can set up his jab and look for something down the middle that'll catch Bruno Ferreira. And with that being said, Bruno also got submitted by a boost in his last one. Yeah, that's an interesting one as well. And then here's where we get to the real interesting fights: Joshua Van versus Ray Truria. Goddamn, that's a hard name to pronounce. Look at these ages. This is what I wanted to highlight, because these are two of the youngest fighters in the UFC. And Josh Van, if I'm not mistaken, he's in title contention. I don't even know if he's ranked yet, but this is someone you have to understand. He came out of Fury, right? The local promotion here in Houston, and I believe had 7 fights in like a year and a half, and he only lost one of those. That's to Charles Johnson. He just had that insane fight at the Sphere where he beat the brakes off that guy. He was supposed to fight Bruno Silva on this card. However, Bruno Silva had to pull out, and so he was fighting Ray Street. Bruno Silva, I believe, was ranked, so he was supposed to be getting a ranked opponent. But yeah, Cody Durden, he destroyed. That was at 310, actually, 4 months after his 306 performance, where he beat Edgar Chairez, who is another savage in that flyweight division. Edgar Chairez, keep on the lookout for him as well. But this was coming after his knockout loss to Charles Johnson. Again, like I said, so he had 2 wins in 2023. He had 3 wins. He went 3-1 in 2024, and now in 2025 he's going to be fighting Ray Struya. Ray Struya is coming off of the Road to UFC TV show. Is it a TV show or a competition, tournament, whatever you want to call it? He is very well rounded. I think 50% of his wins came by a knockout, 50% came by submission. This is a very interesting one. Honestly, I thought Josh Van would be fighting, or he was supposed to be fighting someone else. I just think because Bruno Silva pulled out, now it's young guy versus young guy. This is something I didn't really want to happen until they got to the top, similar to the Tatsuro Taira matchup, and I think they kind of came to their senses on that one, which is why it never happened. But like I said, a very interesting fight, and this could be breeding a new contender. However, Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev. Now this is where it gets questionable. Now we all know who Curtis Blades is, but Rizvan, what is it? His last fight is when he popped for steroids. Now the UFC is supposed to be all about no drugs, and, you know, we have all the best drug testing and things like that. Meanwhile, this guy popped for 3 anabolic steroids. Now he is from Dagestan, right? He's a heavyweight, 6'4", 76-inch reach. He's a big dude. This guy, he's fought all over the place. He's fought in Eagle FC. He was their champion. Then he went to the Contender Series. He won via ground and pound. And then he went back to Eagle FC. He won via guillotine choke, right? He went to the PFL after Eagle FC, and he beat Renan Ferreira, the one who just lost to Ngannou. He beat Renan Ferreira, but it was overturned to a no contest because he popped for 3 anabolic steroids. This guy popped for, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce these. Look at this shit, man. This is the type of shit that gets motherfuckers killed in this sport. And now he's gonna be fighting in the UFC after everybody knows what the fuck he just did. Right after this fight, he's invited to the Contender Series after popping, and ends up finishing his opponent, of course, and now he's fighting Curtis Blades. This is a setup. It's a setup. Curtis Blades, I mean, he just has never been able to just kind of get to that title shot, man. He always comes up just a little bit short when trying to fight for the title. He did fight for the interim title against Chama, and yes, he came up short. But what the fuck is this, man? We all see what this is. We all see what this is. Shout out Curtis Blades. We're rooting for you, man. Alright, now we get to the main card. Mauricio Ruffy, he's off the Fighting Nerds team. He's going against Bobby King Green, or King Green, I guess now we should refer to him as. Bobby Green's coming off of, I believe, his last fight. Yeah, his last fight was against Paddy Pimblett, where he got choked out. He got leg kicked into that double leg. That was after his UFC 300 performance against Jim Miller. The dude's been around for a long time. Mauricio Ruffy, though, 10 years his younger, and they're trying to push this guy. This guy is a hands down type fighter, to where he's always rolling with shots. He has that like counter style, like pop shot style for MMA, and he's part of a really good team in Fighting Nerds, man. And all these guys are undefeated in the UFC. I think like 17-0 in the UFC. They're all pretty fucking ridiculous. And honestly, I think this is gonna be a very fun fight because they both have their hands down. They're both gonna be trying to come forward. Bobby Green might give him a little bit of trouble with the push kicks, I think, because people underrate his kicks. Bobby Green's very known for boxing, having the Philly shell and everything, but people don't realize he's always stomping side kicks to the knee, push kicks to the stomach, kind of like Sean Strickland in a way, just with a little bit more swag. He's like the swaggy Sean Strickland, right? But yeah, he's going against Mauricio Ruffy, who honestly, I think their team's just very educated, and I wouldn't bet against their team anytime soon. Going against Bobby Green, 10 years older than him, 38 years old, I think we're seeing a knockout there. Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucendo. That's a good fight as well. Both of these girls throw heavy boxers. Both of them are. Lucendo is young, I believe, 23. Amanda Lemos is 37. Lemos maybe has one more run at the title if she wins this. So there's a lot on the line. Jalen Turner is fighting Ignacio Bahamondes. I feel like I haven't seen Jalen Turner fight in a long time, man. It was 2024 UFC 300 against Renato Moicano. That was rough. Yeah, that was the walk-off knockout he should have had and ended up fucking up. This was on that 306 card. I believe that was his last fight, where he knocked out Manuel Torres in the first round. That was a beautiful knockout. He's had a few viral knockouts, spinning back kicks. A very good striker. Bilal Muhammad's also really high on him. That's his teammate. He comes out of that camp. Yeah, really good striker. Very creative on the feet. Honestly, I would almost consider him a fight nerd. Not that he trains with them or anything, but the dude is a nerd. He's an anime geek just like myself, and he's just a savage, man. He's a real nerd about the game. You could tell that he studies the game a lot, especially in the striking department. It's going to be a very fun striking battle. Jalen Turner is always long for the lightweight division, but yeah, very fun. Moving forward to the main event. Here we are. We're there. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. This is something we have to talk about. So, nobody knew if Magomed was actually going to get his title shot. After beating Johnny Walker the way he did, after beating, who else did he fucking beat? Alexander Rakic the way he did. I mean, he went to a draw with Jan Blachowicz. That was supposed to be his title shot. Of course, he knocked out Anthony Smith. He beat Thiago Santos. I mean, he's been beating the top guys. The problem, I think, is that he doesn't put together 3 fights in a year. type of year. He doesn't ever put that together, but also it's because who's going to take that fight, really, right? It's only the top of the division that really takes that fight, but he is in the prime of his career. He's obviously a wrestler coming out of Dagestan, but he has good striking as well, and he believes in his striking. The guy got this fight because he said he was going to strike with Alex Pereira, right? I think that's why he got the fight. He said, I'm going to strike with him. And what is it, a couple months later, now that we're getting close to fight week, he's saying be prepared for 25 minutes of wrestling. He got what he wanted. He got exactly what the hell he wanted. Yeah, we just let a wrestler, a pure wrestler, sign a contract with Alex Pereira. Congrats, UFC. Congrats all of the Alex Pereira fans. Now, this is a winnable fight for Alex. It is. Of course, Alex is probably going to look like the bigger guy. He could fight at super heavyweight and look like the bigger guy. But Alex Pereira said, since you're so confident, let's bet $200,000 to a charity. Winner's choice, right? Whoever wins gets to choose. Ankalaev said, fuck that. I'm Muslim. And, that shit's against our religion, right? And pretty much just said full out, you're gonna have to learn how to defend a takedown no matter what, because maybe I'll strike with you just a little bit. This is how I picture the fight going. Opening round, Magomed's kind of staring at him. Alex is throwing leg kicks probably to the inside and outside of that calf. As soon as Ankalaev eats like 2 or 3 of them, he's gonna throw a cross, grab the leg, and we're gonna see how that fight's gonna play out from there. But that's how I see that fight going. If we remember correctly, I mean, he fought Jan Blachowicz, which is gonna be the same stance matchup. Jan's an orthodox just like Pereira is, and he had all of the access to Ankalaev's calf, both inside and outside, if we remember correctly. And then Ankalaev had to rely on very boring grappling, like really just trying to hold down Jan Blachowicz. But the thing is, if he could hold down Jan, he could hold down Alex. Jan has more grappling experience than Alex. Alex got his black belt in jiu-jitsu after knocking out Yuri Prochazka. I think that kind of says all we really need to know about Alex's bottom game. Israel Adesanya was kind of able to ragdoll Alex Pereira, if we remember that correctly, right? Now, I think Magomed is going to have the grappling advantage, of course. And I think his striking actually isn't bad. And I'm happy that this is happening. You know why I'm happy? Not because I'm an Alex Pereira hater, no. I'm an Izzy fan, yes. But I like Alex Pereira. I like the story he brings. I think everyone does. I think if you hate Alex Pereira, you just hate the sport of MMA, frankly. But what I hate is the fact that everyone Alex Pereira is going against wants to strike with him. Are y'all fucking stupid? Honestly, what kind of sense does that make? Hold on. What kind of sense does that make? The fact that this man's a 2-time Glory world champion, 2 weight classes, Glory world champion. A guy who only wants to throw them hoes, whether it's with his hands or whether it's with his legs. He wants to knock you the fuck out. And that's what he's the best at. And Khalil Roundtree, you want to only strike with him? Khalil Roundtree, you semi-catch a kick, get him off balance, stumble him, and you don't follow up with any kind of grappling. Respect, your pride got in the way of a world championship. But that's the approach we're taking. You wobble him up, and you don't even hint at the fact that you're going to try and take him down. This is, what that's similar of? It's similar of Kevin Holland, who wobbled up Stephen Thompson, who could have beaten Stephen Thompson. Let's be real. He would have won that fight had he not been so prideful and accepted going to the ground. Because this is MMA. It's not kickboxing. It's MMA. You want to watch striking with 4-ounce gloves? Go watch One Championship, like I've been saying every fucking video. Go watch One Championship. You can watch Muay Thai in 4-ounce gloves. This is mixed martial arts. Go to the fucking ground. If you drop him, ground and pound him. If you wobble him and he shoots in on you, stuff it, take his back, choke him out, or ground and pound. The grappling is there for a reason. But no, let's all strike with Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree. Let's all just strike with Alex Pereira, Sean Strickland. God damn it. What the fuck do you expect? Of course, he's gonna beat every single one of you. Yuri Prochazka. Look, think about the times Alex Pereira has almost lost. Jan Blachowicz was that split decision. A lot of people thought Jan won that fight. Grappled, okay? Israel Adesanya the first time was beating Alex Pereira until he got TKO. He grappled. The second one, whatever, he got knocked out, but he grappled, okay? What was another close fight that year before he knocked the guy out inevitably? Oh, Yuri Prochazka. Grappled and actually had success doing it. Alex Pereira, yes, he had a hurt knee going into that one, I believe. But at the end of the day, man, you can't just stand in front of him and say, I'm gonna strike with you. And I'm happy that Magomed Ankalaev isn't gonna do that, because he said he was. And it was just going to piss me off, because we watch MMA for styles. We watch MMA to see striker versus grappler, which one's better. We watch it to see Muay Thai versus karate, which one's better. We watch it to see, okay, Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu versus boxing and wrestling, which one's better. We want to see and know who is the best fighter in the world with all your skills intact. And now I think we're gonna see. If Alex Pereira comes out here, he defends Magomed Ankalaev's takedowns, he's beating up his calf, he ends up knocking him out and just wins in dominant fashion, I think we all get what we want. What you guys want. I think we get that Jon Jones fight, regardless of if Jon Jones fights Tom Aspinall, which honestly breaks my fucking heart to say. It does, because I want to see Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall. It breaks my heart. But right now, I don't want to see that fight, because I'm like, you know, he's going to get taken down. If he fights Jon Jones is way bigger, he's going to take him down. Actually, Pereira will probably be bigger than Jon, but I still think he'll take him down. If he defends this Dagestani Russian's takedowns for 25 minutes, or in dominant fashion, ends up knocking him out, he has a chance against Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. But I do want that Tom Aspinall-Jon Jones fight first. I do. That's the one we have to get that. We have to get that, and then we could see Pereira or whoever against whoever. But I think if Alex Pereira wins, the UFC is going to try first to make Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones. Even though Yailton Almeida is saying, fuck Cyril Gane and fuck Jon Jones, you're not getting that fight, so fight me. I think they're going to still try and make Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones. And I think while they're making that, Pereira said he could fight every month with this weight cut, even though he's cutting 22.5 pounds the week of. Dricus beats Khamzat Chimaev. Dricus wants to go up and fight Pereira. So, and I don't think he wants to fight Magomed Ankalaev if he is the champion. So I think that that's another fight that can happen. Everything is super exciting. This is the storyline. This is what storyline videos are about on this channel, man. So if you liked everything you just heard here, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, man. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think is going to happen, what your thoughts on these situations are, and give me your predictions for UFC 313, man, because I honestly don't know who's gonna win. I'm excited to finally see a different style against Pereira, not someone who's just gonna strike with him. And I'm excited to see how this shit plays out, because he beats Magomed Ankalaev. This dude he's right there for the greatest combat sport athlete of all time. He's right there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.